Good morning, children. Today's subject is science. Today we are going to learn the next part of chapter 5, that is substances in the surroundings, their states and properties. In last period we have seen that is change of state of substances. Then effect of heat on the substances. Then we have studied about the temperature, thermometer, boiling point, freezing point, condensation point. Okay, these all things we have studied in last period. So now today we have to see the next part from this lesson. So let's see. Now see, uses of changes of state of substances. Means whatever may be the states changes are there within the substance, whatever may be there is a change in a state, so these changes are useful in our life. For example, paraffin wax is melted and the candle are made of molten wax only. Dry ice, that is in solid state, so it is used in ice cream for ice cream preparation and to keep it in a frozen state. Then liquid nitrogen is used in animal husbandry. Okay, liquid nitrogen is used in animal husbandry. Sand is melted to make glass. See, from sand, as we melt the sand, that from melted sand they make the glass only. Metals like gold, silver are melted to make ornaments. Different shapes ornaments are available in market. So how they prepare? By melting the gold and silver. Iron is melted to make tools. Iron articles at home also we are using, no? Cupboard is there, table is there. So these articles are made by the melting the iron only. So these are the uses of change of state of substances. So let's see the next part. For that we have to do one activity. So here we have to take one crucible. See, in that picture they shown the crucible, and one funnel we have to take. Okay, so in that crucible we have to take a sand. Okay, sand in a crucible, and in that we have to take a few iodine crystals also. Put a few iodine crystals on it. Then place the crucible on a tripod to heat it, as in the figure. So as shown in the figure we have to arrange it. Then place the crucible on a tripod to heat it. Block the stem of the funnel with a cotton plug. Okay, and place it inverted over the crucible. Now light the burner and heat the mixture in the crucible. In the crucible what we have to? Sand and few iodine crystals. Now we have to observe the changes. What changes we have to observe here? See here. Now see what will happen in the crucible. As we heat the crucible, so iodine crystals are there in the crucible. So what will happen? Iodine crystal do not melt on heating. Okay, it do not melt on heating, but change directly to the gaseous state. But change directly to the gaseous state. See in the picture. See, as we heat to the crucible, okay, the iodine do not melt, it directly convert into gaseous state. And when the fumes of iodine hit the walls, see in the second picture, okay, whatever may be the fumes are there of the iodine, it hit the walls of the funnel and they cool to form a solid crystal. As we cool their fumes, again it form a solid iodine crystals. Thus on heating, iodine does not melt and change to a liquid, but directly changes to a gaseous state. So that is called the sublimation. Okay, that is called the sublimation. So the change of solid substance directly into gas or vapor without first changing into liquid is called a sublimation. So that method is called the sublimation, in which the solid substance directly convert into gaseous form. Again, for example, iodine crystal we have seen, then naphthalene balls and camphor also. Everyone at home, we are using camphor or naphthalene ball. You can observe yourself also, as we are keeping that camphor or naphthalene ball. Then after some, in a open place, in an open place, if you keep that camphor or naphthalene balls, after some days we observe their size get decreased. It cannot convert into liquid form. Directly their size decrease means that substance convert into gaseous form, and that process is called the sublimation, in which a solid substance directly convert into gaseous or vapor without changing into liquid form. That is called the sublimation. Understood everyone? Yes. So now see, here are some things are there. How will you identify the following things? Yes, here glass is there, door is there, rod is there, then powder is there. Then how will you identify? For a glass, either it is made up of plastic, steel or glass only. Then rod, it may be iron or aluminium. Then door, either it is of wooden, then glass. Then about white powder, it may be salt also or chalk powder. Then how will you can identify this? So for identify this or for understanding this, we have to consider their properties. Yes, we have to consider their properties. Which property? For example, transparency, hardness, weight, color, the sound produced from it. Okay, otherwise their solubility in water. So these properties we have to use to identify the substances. So let's study the properties of substances in detail. So let's see the first property, that is brittleness. The property of breaking into small particle is called the brittleness. When we apply the pressure on any substances, for example chalk, brick, alum, glass or rasgira vedi is there. So when we apply the pressure on it, these substances break into small pieces or particles. Such substances are said to be brittle, and this property of substances is called the brittleness. Okay, so this property is called the brittleness, which breaking into small particles. So that is the brittleness property of substances. Now let's see the second property, that is hardness. The property of resisting other substance is called hardness. So for that, see here in the picture they shown, here having the iron nail, and we have to try to pierce a cardboard sheet. Okay, wet mud we have to take and the piece of wood. Then what will happen? The nail easily pierce in wet mud, but not a piece of wood. It can pierce a cardboard sheet with some effort. We have to put that nail in a wooden. Then what will happen? We have to apply some force. Yes, to pierce the nail in a wood we have to. So in this case we have to apply some force. We have to take some effort, then and then only it get pierced in that wooden board. So that is, the hardness of a substance is determined by how much resistance it offers to the substance being pushed through it. So that is the property called hardness, is the again one property of a substances. So now let's see the third property, that is the elasticity. Okay, third property of substance is elasticity. Returning back to their original shape and size upon withdrawal of force or a pressure is called elasticity. Okay, returning back to their original shape and size. Stretch a rubber band and let it go, or apply pressure on a piece of sponge and release it. What do you see? The rubber band and the sponge go back to their original shape. Yes, some substances change their shape when a force is applied on them, but return to their original shape and size when the force is removed. When we apply the force, they change their shape. When we remove the force, they comes to their original shape. That is called the elasticity, which is a property of a substances. Next property of a substance is fluidity. The property of flowing from the slope is called fluidity. See, for that here we have to take a one metal sheet of a size of notebook. Holding it at an angle, put a drop of water, honey and gum at different places on the board. So, okay, on that board we have to uh, put a drop of water or honey and a gum also, and observe their flow. Liquids flow downwards on a sloping surface. So this property is called fluidity, and the fluidity of any liquid is determined by how easily it flow. How easily it flow. As here water, honey and gum is there. So which can flow easily? Yes, see in the picture, water flow easily. Then honey and then gum is there. So that is called the fluidity, which is a property of substances. Now remaining property of a substances we have to see in a next part.